Gentlemen, y'all strive for gold in your life, right? Gold medals, gold watches, gold everything. However, there is a certain type of man who goes the extra mile. He walks with confidence of a lion and he giggles in the face of danger. He's a big, hairless winning machine, and when he unzips his pants, he sees platinum. That's right. Manscaped would like to announce that their biggest and best ultimate hygiene bundle, the Platinum Package 4.0, is now available worldwide. JT, Manscaped is the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now trust them with your whole hygiene routine.
Amazing. Amazing. Give this man the Academy Award.
This is the real deal, guys, but in seriousness.
No, it's great. It's actually great.
We got the Platinum 4.0 package. They sent it to us.
Yes.
We've both been using it.
Yep.
And I believe that for a hairy gentleman, you had success.
I did. When I was on the road and I was traveling overseas, it was actually awesome. Not surprisingly, but, I also get a bit hairy shoulders, hairy forearms. It just across the board, the thing that really I loved was is really quick. And battery life was great. And it's a compact little unit. It does the business.
Yeah.
It was really good. I'm a fan. Like I didn't know what to expect at first, but now I'm like total convert. It's really good.
I'm exactly the same. And look, so you guys know what's up. Manscaped have partnered with us to sponsor the show. So we'll be plugging them on the show, the audio version and also the YouTube one. And we're super stoked to do that because we both use the product. I actually used it before they sent us the 4.0 package, and I've always been a supporter of it. I like staying clean and tidy, and Manscaped helps me do that. So check it out. You too can have this same level of hygiene. You can get 20% off and free shipping when you use the code GRIZZLY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. It's time you enjoyed the finer things in life. Get yourself a platinum package for your platinum package.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bulletproof for BJJ podcast. I am JT and I'm here with my partner in crime, Joey.
Hey guys, you know me, Team Rest Round, what's up?
Oh, yes indeed, lazy as ever. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been big. I've just come back from 3.5 months of being overseas, and we are talking about the ADCC 2022.
Oh, big recap.
Mate,
This is our first episode. We haven't recorded since for 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and we just, we'd planned for it. We had the episodes rolling out there, but we're back strong, better than ever. And then really this is a kickoff into a new chapter in a way because we're famous, baby. No.
The way ADCC flew us over to be there at their event,
it was
put us there that, after Gordon did the thing, they're like, hey, Joey, JT, would you care to come down and share your thoughts on the microphone?
Yeah, sure.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, Mo's a good guy.
Yeah.
What am I going to say? You can't say no to that. But
we need to talk about our interview with PJ Barch, by the way. Let's not forget that.
Poor PJ Barch. Man, I really want to get a chance to see him again and apologize. No, we want to start off actually by giving a big shout out to our good friend Rob Bates, who is the founder and owner of Aurum Plus. And it is by virtue of his generosity, he invited us to be in his box because he sponsored the event and then for various reasons could not be there. And then basically said, gentlemen, go for it.
Enjoy the box.
Enjoy the box.
They got the food coming in, the drinks.
Mate.
Staff was super nice. You guys need anything in here?
So good.
Like, it was pretty lit.
It was amazing.
It became the Bulletproof for BJJ box.
Yeah, it did. And all the Aussies were in there. It was like the Aussie embassy.
Yeah.
A lot of Aussie athletes, plenty of crew from B team came through.
I think it was the central depot for edibles in the arena too.
It could have been a few people taking naps on the Ben Hodgkinson, laid up on the leather seats.
Sleepy boy.
Amazing. And look, I think the scale, this is the biggest thing I got to say. Watching it from home through Flow Grappling, even though you may have had a good experience of seeing clear vision of the mat, you do not get the idea of how big this thing was. It was like a UFC major event.
Yeah, it was. I think with live sporting events and stuff, I'm always kind of surprised, which I shouldn't be, but it's always very different being at the event versus watching it on television.
Totally.
Personally, I don't like concerts. I like to listen to the album.
Yep.
It's consistent. I know what I'm getting.
Yes.
And there's a similar thing with sports events where you're like, oh shit, I can't actually see the sport in the way that you see it on telly.
Yes.
However, for what it was as an experience to be there was epic.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
Bruh.
There's pyrotechnics.
Yep, big flame fucking things.
They had the Pride announcer.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's so funny. We've got to give a shout out to Kieran and Ad's Beyond Jiu-Jitsu podcast.
Yes.
Our mates. I think it was Kieran was like, who the fuck was that announcer? Or like, what the fuck was with that? Like, for the young generation.
Who don't know Pride.
Yeah, that's the iconic. It's a very irritating voice. You're like, ooh. But if you watched Pride, which was some of the greatest combat events of all time. You can appreciate the irritating. I never saw. It's a woman, right?
Yes.
I've never seen her.
Oh no!
Could you see her at the event?
I briefly saw. I have seen her once or twice before.
But like, where was she on the floor?
I think she was just back of the stage. Like,
okay,
you know how
so it was out of
walking
our view.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the event was held at I think it was like University of Las Vegas,
Thomas and Mack Center,
which has a capacity of 15,000 people. It wasn't quite at capacity because they had this huge stage erected in the same way when they have weigh-ins for the UFC. All the athletes came out with a big screen behind them and fireworks, and it was like so legit.
Yeah.
In terms of being
walkout music and shit.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like that vibe was great. But what that meant is it obscured a good portion of the seating. So, I mean, it was packed.
Yeah, we were just behind that.
Yeah, we still had good view, but we a little bit more on the side. And
we'll talk to Rob about that for next year's
Come
event.
on, man, we got to mow a sim, work it out. No, it was really interesting because also we could look across at the other boxes.
Yeah,
and there's like Jocko
was just there.
Echo,
yeah,
see those guys, man. A lot of this is the thing I didn't expect, but obviously being Las Vegas, a lot of celebrities turned out,
dude.
Heaps of people, man.
Diaz wanted to get a photo with us.
Of course.
I'm sure you saw that if you're listening to this. You got to have seen the photos.
You understand that he was like, I'm only speak Joe, like, 420, baby.
Did you, bro, the funniest shit, I just got to tell you this real quick. Because JT and I had this funny thing. I went out I went out looking for you. I was like, fuck, where's JT? And I went out looking, and I went out to the front of the arena, went down the stairs, came back, and there was some guys milling around, and I'm like, one of the dudes I just noticed was just some guy, looked really stoned, big glasses, just spitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Like you kind of see young hoodlum type guys doing. And in my mind, I'm like, it's gross.
Yep.
Anyway, I went down and I came back up and the guy's spitting and I'm like, fuck, guys got to stop spitting. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Anyway, I was like, he's one of Nate Diaz's homeboys.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no big deal. Where's JT? And I'm like, no, wait, I'm going to regret this if I don't ask for a photo.
Yeah.
So I went to the guy and I said, hey bro, what's going on? And he was like, sup? And I said, can I get a photo with your boy? And he's like, he just like put his hand out to grab my camera. And I went in next to Nate, right? And we got the photo. If you've followed on Instagram, you've seen the photo. But the funniest shit was I put that photo into an Instagram reel later on. And with Apple phones, you have the live version of a photo where it's actually a short video.
Yeah, it kind of
like it records a few seconds.
Yeah.
It actually records audio as well. But you only hear the audio if you put that photo into a reel.
Oh.
And so I put it in the reel and Nate's doing this one.
Yeah.
And he actually goes, cheese, as the photo's being taken.
That's so good. I didn't realize.
I'll show it to you after. It's the best.
Awesome, man. Yeah. That's so good. Man, he was so high. And as soon as Joey came in, I was going and scouting, looking for just various jiu-jitsu celebrities to accost, grab, and interview, and just make an impression on. But I came back, and Joey's like, I just got a photo of Nate Diaz. And I was like, fuck off. You didn't. What are you talking about? And he's like, check it out. I was like, what? I didn't believe it. Like,
where's my phone?
I just went out the front because I'm like, is he still there? And he was, and there was like a line. There's a bunch of people just being like, oh, dang, Nate Diaz. So I was like, oh, damn, I don't have my phone. So I ran back in, where's my phone? Oh, give me the phone. Ran back out there. I was like a little school kid. I was just like so hyped. And he was on a lean. He was on like a, like a slope. He was he looked like he was slumped in a chair.
He was tired.
But he was standing up. Had those real dark glasses. And I actually was really hoping to somehow have some kind of interaction with, like a conversation somehow. Because I went to his guy. So he had all these homies, like a full clique of dudes. And you're like, oh, lads. Like,
yeah, they're just like lads, but the Southern Cali version.
Southern Cali, yeah. one of these guys might have a piece. Like they didn't come inside.
We're strapping boys or what?
He's got the heater. But I went to the guy and I was like, oh man, can I get a photo? And he's like, yeah. There were some kids like they were doing like the Nate Diaz part, and he was so good with the kids. He like kind of animated a lot more for the kids, but he must just get so sick of random dudes like me being like, oh Nate Diaz, I love you, man. Like, but I just wanted to tell him, when you knocked out Conor McGregor, bro, that was like just one of the greatest moments. Like when you dropped him and you choked him out, man, one of the greatest moments in like UFC history. I mean, not to take away from your whole career. You've had an amazing career. And I'm just like, he's just standing there looking at me. And then I was like, bro, that was just the best thing I've ever seen. And he just looked at me and he was like, that's what's up. And he just croaked it out like he could barely talk. And then he just pulled up the pose, and I was like, yeah, this guy. I was so happy, man. It just made, like, it was the least interaction I've ever had with a person.
Shit, yeah.
But it was the best.
He's just ultra efficiency.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same as how he fights, right?
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm not getting in any deep conversation. Yeah, come stand next to me, I'll smile.
Yeah.
Like, not even smile, I'll just look towards the camera.
Yeah. But I mean.
But he was obviously there for that.
Oh,
right?
He
like
was.
He turned up as a bit of a media thing.
Yeah, man.
Which is pretty cool.
It's cool that
it speaks to how big ADCC is as a draw card.
The Liver King showed up.
Right, no one gave a fuck.
He did come in with his security. He had like some two big, staunch guys as his security. Actually, had more than two.
He had a couple of NFL players. They were big dudes.
They're big dudes. And he just kind of made his way in like, I'm Liver King. Like, let me in. And like, people are like, hang on, you don't have a ticket. He's like, I'm Liver King. And he
Primals.
He did kind of chew his way down to the a certain balcony point. But
yeah, well, did you see, like, so because I think he was just looking for some action, right? Trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
I saw he got some photos. He made it down to where the fighters were.
Yes.
So he got some footage with, like, Nicky Rod and
a couple
Ethan Krellenstein and stuff. But, he's just trying to make the most of it as well. But he walked down the balcony just in front of our box.
Yes.
And it was funny because everyone's watching. There's, like, 2 or 3 matches on. Liver King walks down to the end of the balcony. But everyone's watching the matches, so no one says, it's not. And then he walks his way back up, kind of like, just like, hey, is someone going to shout out to Liver King? Yeah. And then some guy's like, yo, Liver King or whatever. And he's like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And like goes in and like high fives the dude and, does a little thing. But it kind of looked like it didn't, no one really gave a fuck.
No.
Because that's a funny thing too, right? Like,
you don't look that big at ADCC, bro.
Well, yeah, that's right. You look pretty natty to me.
You look natty. 100%.
But also, like, in a room full of people who are kind of like, whatever, we're all sports people, but we're more of a fighter. Everyone there that trains is more of a fighter than he is.
Oh, 100%.
Right? And so you're like, well, here's this guy. So I think in a way, when you're around jiu-jitsu people and you see someone like that kind of puts out this vibe of like, I'm a tough cunt, but you've never once seen him training any kind of combat, right? It's just, who knows what the fuck he's doing?
Yes.
Towing cars and shit. No one really gives a shit.
No,
like you don't have the street cred in that scene.
You do not.
That you have if you went to maybe the UFC or something where there's a lot more just fans.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I mean, Juji Mufu was there. He participated in the tournament. Basically, here's the thing.
Everyone loved that guy. Oh, because he fucking competed as well.
He jumped in.
Yeah,
and he's a funny guy, but he had a crack, right? Even though he has no jiu-jitsu. But here's the thing: a lot of people don't realize about this particular event. Mo had gone out of his way to make this like a really big spectacle, and it was definitely that. They were projecting highlight videos onto the mats from the ceiling. It had that full stadium arena feel. And the response now, I'm just going to go to a particular moment right now.
Go there.
Hi, Sam.
Oh, hi, Sam-Rita.
Right at the start, it was like
early in the day.
Right, just took it up, right?
Yeah.
Speak on it, Joey.
So, hi, Sam-Rita. I'm sure people listening, you know his name by now. You might not have been aware of him. He's been competing in Japan a lot. Mm-hmm. Big talk from Ghana, I believe.
He's huge, but he lived in France for a period of time as well.
Okay.
Yep.
I came across him watching Quintet, which is the Japanese team event, which is fucking sickest event, by the way, as a recommendation. But he was crushing it in that, and he stands out because it's mostly Japanese competitors. And then there's this guy that is tall and broad and black and double the size of everybody else.
Could play in the NBA.
Yeah. And he's got blonde peroxide hair and he fucking got long legs. Like he's He's a real specimen.
Yep.
And he can grapple like a motherfucker.
Yes.
And so he comes out, and it was his ADCC debut, right?
It was, yeah.
And fucking catches this lightning quick armbar on Cyborg. And I mean, Cyborg, whatever. There's, he's got a bit of dirt against his name.
But I mean, as a competitor, that guy has won World's No-Gi. He is a previous absolute ADCC champion.
Right, he is one of the legends of the sport.
Of No-Gi, quite unstoppable.
Yeah. But I think there was an energy, right?
Yeah.
And when Haisam caught him, everyone's like, fuck yeah. And he jumped, he exploded. He bounced up. Oh. He ran around the arena.
No. Oh man.
He ran around the arena high-fiving people. And then when he's getting his hand raised, he's crying. Yeah. You're like, it's round one.
Dude.
But you're like, that's what we're in for. That's the day.
Yeah, it set the tone. It was so exciting. And man, I think the thing that I love about it, it's the all-star game. Everyone there is great. There wasn't anyone there who's like a gimme. Everyone there is either a past champion, a world champion, or just a complete savage.
Yeah.
And so interesting for me was I did my best to kind of get where I shouldn't be. It was I got into the rules meeting because I just kind of wandered in with all the athletes and was able to kind of see that play out.
That was the Friday night, right? Before the event?
Yeah, I got there on Thursday with Ola, and we were just taking Vegas. Man, let's just sidestep for a second. Vegas.
Wild joint.
Crazy place. I mean, I had actually bought some nice looking dress shoes to go to Vegas because Ola's mum had said, they're not going to let you in the casino with those filthy sneakers. So I actually went to the trouble of buying these nice shoes. The first day we were there, we stayed at Palms. People are there in slides and flip-flops.
Go wherever the fuck you want.
With rolls of hundreds, dude.
Yeah.
People are throwing money. You don't care what you look like.
If you're buying.
Yeah. If you're here to gamble, let's go. Smoking, drinking, hard out.
But that's the interesting thing for us. Not sure how this would sit with, say, our American listeners or European listeners, but in Australia, here in Sydney at least, if you want to go out to a club, chances are, if you're a male, you're not getting in.
No,
you're only getting in if you're with at least 3 women,
3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if there's anything, if you got a little hole in your shirt, if it doesn't have a collar, if your fucking shirt, they just, sorry man, those sneakers not allowed. So we've got this conditioning of where you got to
dress
you
up.
got to be ready to go out. Whereas in Vegas, it's nah, show up and just come and spend your money.
Go
fucking,
hard.
we'll let you in.
Yeah.
And it's actually very refreshing because you just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You get carried along.
It's kind of, there's a freeness in it, but let's just position this for a second, guys, because that weekend was a huge weekend in Vegas. For those of you who don't know, there's a Mexican Independence Day, and obviously the fight organizers had rigged this up. Canelo versus Triple G, Mark III.
Yep.
And so Canelo's Mexican, so that was huge. And also where Vegas is relevant to everywhere else. And there was also a Raiders game.
Yeah, on the Sunday.
And there was also a massive, some other convention that went for 7 days. Plus you inject 13,000 additional jiu-jitsu fans who wouldn't be there. Mate, it was a crazy time.
Yeah, Vegas is packed out in terms of it's pretty hard to get a room.
Yeah.
The casinos are all full.
Yes.
It's actually kind of at capacity. Often due to just one of those events. So when you have all of them, it's fucking mayhem.
Yeah, and man, the strip on that that night when we went after the Saturday night after the first day, it was whoa, it's just so busy.
Yeah.
So crazy. Now, for yourself, Joe, you came in, you'd had a couple of days in LA, came through with our good friend, the Dark Prince.
The darkness.
And, man, this is my second time at the ADCC, and it was definitely steps above the previous. How did you feel about the whole thing?
Oh man, I felt really fortunate to be there. The trip for me, to give a bit of context for y'all, was last minute decision. JT was like, "Hey bro, we got this, we're in the box. I got it." You said it to me early on. You're like, if you want to come, and I was like, yeah, but bro, fuck, I can't come to Vegas.
Yeah.
You already had your trip planned, so it was a happening for you. And then I don't know, it was a couple of weeks out, and Misa, my partner, was like, "Why don't you go? You know, and I was like, and I was like, no, I can't. We got the baby, and you know, I'm fucking super busy, and all this. I'm really good at not taking holidays.
Yeah,
like I'm just great at being like, no, I'm stuck here.
Yes,
and then like the next day, she's like, so you're gonna go?
Oh,
and it kind of went on like this for like a few days. She was really good because I guess she knows what I'm like.
She's
like
awesome.
That.
She's awesome,
and she also saw that you know you had created this opportunity. Our business is in a place where it is only now. Like we're at it's a very cool stage for us. Obviously, you know, the organizers wanted us there.
Of course.
You know, but you know, and it's only every 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, this doesn't come around every 12 months.
That's right.
And so eventually I was like, all right, I'll do it.
Oh,
let's go.
Yes.
And so it was a 1 week trip for me.
Yes.
So I was like, JT, I'm coming. You're like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude, I know. I'm coming. I got 2 days in LA on either side and this weekend in Vegas. So, super fortunate for me, very fast paced. Got to LA, had a great couple of days there. The Prince, friend of ours, if you followed Bulletproof Instagram a year or two ago, you would have seen the Dark Prince training with us. He's been a long time friend of ours. But he's based in LA at the moment. So I was like, bro, let's jump in your car. Let's head out. We had a hotel together and stuff. So, mate, it was mad. Like, it was all put on. You know what I mean? We got there. It was like, I've never seen jiu-jitsu as like you can engage with jiu-jitsu as a bit of a fan, but it's not like engaging with other sports like a fan where it's like they build the events for the fans.
Yes.
But that event was for the fans.
Definitely was.
And so all the grapplers around, but it's this beautiful period where it's still very young. So most of the stars are just hanging out. They want you to come and say good day. So you're just walking through, you're like, oh, holy shit, it's the Hillbilly Hammer.
Yeah.
Or fuck, it's Riccardo Arona.
Couch. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, what's going on, man? Like, who are you? Like, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Versus like, you look at like more developed sports where you just can't touch them.
Think about tennis. Do you think you could just walk in and be like, yo, Roger Federer, what's up?
Can we
Could
do
I
a
just
little interview?
Impromptu interview? Like, no, that's never going to happen. But that is the great thing about jiu-jitsu. And I think being in that environment, it makes you realize that these people who have done incredible things are human. And for the best part, are reasonably well-intentioned. I can't speak for everyone. But, you know, like there was a super seminar where basically all these legends of jiu-jitsu were getting inducted into the ADCC Hall of Fame.
Was that the first time they've done this Hall of Fame thing? Because they had a lot of people to get through.
It was crazy, man. They had like Marcelo teaching a seminar. You had Barrett Yoshida. You had Henzo Gracie. You had Buddy Tynan. You had Hodger. You had this like
Solo. Yeah, all of them
on one huge, like all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. Obviously, people paid, you know, a lot of money to go to those things. But I was just kind of walking around the periphery of that, like, whoa.
That super set, I think it was like 500 US. It was big money.
Yeah.
But would have been a fucking cool experience.
Amazing. There was a lot of people there. And it was just cool to be there because the thing that I have found, I don't know what other people's experience is, but when you meet someone like Hodger Gracie, because I guess that guy's been so lauded and so applauded for such a long time, he has got a good way to handle his celebrity. He's not a jerk in any way. He's actually quite friendly. He's quite open. Because everyone's like, oh, Hodger. You know, he's just like, oh, hey. Like, he's quite familiar. And I don't know what it is, but, like, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But, yeah, he's just really friendly.
But did you meet any jiu-jitsu people that weren't?
Gordon.
Did you meet Gordon?
Yeah, and I've had Gordon, like...
Because I
swing the big arms on the way past.
Okay, because I didn't meet him,
yeah.
But I got to say, from everything I saw, he seemed extremely friendly.
I think I had a different experience because it was pre-comp. I think post-comp, he was in a different mode.
Yeah,
like at the rules meeting, you know, like it's tough because you've got all these people, they're cutting weight, you know, both men and women, just they're in a very intense moment.
Yeah,
and this is the big moment in their career. It could make or break their career. Other than, actually, we're going to go to the exception to the rule. Our very relaxed friend.
Charles.
No, Charles.
Sorry, not Charles. Owen.
Owen.
Yeah, Owen Flanagan.
You're seeing everybody just being real serious and like, you know, all this stuff.
Fuck, what are they getting so worked up about, mate? Fuck, it's just jiu-jitsu, relax.
Just jiu-jitsu. So what's your game plan? Yeah. Oh, you know, just go out there, roll, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, why would you just kick someone? It's just jiu-jitsu. Bro, this is the biggest competition right now. He was so relaxed. He did so well.
He was fucking great.
He's a lovely guy.
We were lucky to get to hang out with Owen Flang. If you didn't see him, he lost to Bodoni.
He did.
In the quarters or the semis?
Yeah, he won 2 matches. I think he beat Mason Fowler.
He beat Mason Fowler and Shanji.
Yeah.
Which was pretty fucking sick.
And did it well.
Yeah, he looked really good.
I was like, oh, this could be a big upset.
Yeah. And I think he was I saw a little clip, he was doing well against Bodoni, and then Bodoni just caught a fucking
But it went to his
foot
bad,
on him.
He's got a bad ankle.
Does he?
Yeah.
He does now.
Well, no. You could see the look on Giancarlo's face. Like, oh, that was a bit easy.
Yeah, right.
And he was like, man, my ankle's already bad.
Yeah, fair.
You can't have that. Like, you can't have those weak spots.
But he was, we got to hang out with him. His buddy Charles, his strength conditioning coach, is an old friend of mine from back in the day when we used to do, when I did my CrossFit certification. I was like, hey, Charles, you're here. And we got to hang out. We've always kind of been in the jiu-jitsu scene together, but never really trained.
Yeah.
And then he moved to London and he's built this thing and he's kind of doing sort of what we're doing.
Very
He's
similar.
Helping grapplers and doing great stuff. Shout out to those guys. They have a podcast. I can't remember what it's called. I think it might be Charles Allen Price and Owen Flanagan.
It could be. What we'll do is we'll put a link to that in the show notes.
Sick. Check those guys out. But yeah, fucking Owen, what a classic dude.
Yeah.
Just like so chill. Just really good energy about it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Just super laid back. But a beast. A total beast.
But to your point, like I was surprised. Every person I met that was a somebody was just super friendly and open.
Yeah.
You know, and I reckon like pre-comp, you're going to be in your zone. Like, okay, fuck everyone else right now.
Yep.
Depending on how you engage with competition. Not me. I'm making friends with the whole crew.
Of course.
But yeah, it's interesting, right? So even for say Gordon's thing where it's like he comes across a certain way in public.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think there was a lot of him that, you know, there's a nice side to him that a lot of people got to see.
I'm sure. And look, definitely there's a big difference with Gordon post the whole comp versus all the build up. Like, you know, he was having a good time at the after party. Whereas previously at 2019 after party, he sat in the corner, didn't drink, didn't dance.
Yeah, right.
Didn't engage at all. And what was even more interesting in the
was that in the 2019, the last one?
2019, he was not.
Where he won, right?
Yeah. He dominated. Like
right.
he killed it. But it was a very different reaction, I would suppose.
Yeah.
I think he might have. This is my just takeaway on it, guys. But I actually called the result prior. We actually left. Full confession, full transparency. I did not stay and watch the final because I knew.
He's like, guys, call me crazy. Gordon's going to win.
But I was like,
we're like, what?
No. But I actually texted and I was like, Gordon Ryan rear naked choke from the back.
Okay,
like
yeah.
I called that. And also Ola had the presence of mind to say, there's going to be 13,000 people trying to get an Uber in 10 minutes. We should bail. And I was like, good call.
Did I tell you our story about getting out of there with Lockie Giles?
No. All right. There's a lot of good stories that come out of this one, but okay, go there.
So like Lockie Giles, he's in the box with us hanging out, you know, he'd had a big couple of days and whatever. And, you know, it was the first time I met Lockie face to face, lovely guy. And, you know, he's the classic, he's not a star.
No.
But there he's a star.
Yes.
Everyone wants Lockie, can I get a photo? Fuck, I love you. What you do, Lockie? I got your instructions. And he's just like, oh, yep, sure, let's get a photograph. Like, he's a really humble guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Dark Prince and I are like, let's get the fuck out of here. It's like the thing's over. We stayed and watched the last fight and whatever. And Lockie's like, got his backpack and he's like, is anyone going back to the Mandalay Bay? And we're like, we're going back. You want to jump in with us? It's like, yes, please. and so we're out in the arena trying to get out, you know, like the past all the food stalls and shit out the stairs. And literally every 30 seconds, someone's like, Lockie, can I get a photo? Lockie, can I get a photo? No. And so this speaks to Lockie's like strategic jiu-jitsu mind. Lockie's like the first few, he's like, yep, sure, let's get a photo. Oh, hang on, guys, just got to do a photo with it. Yep, okay, yep, thank you, yep, great, cheers. Next photo. And then after the few of those, he's like, yes, we can take a photo, but can we walk 25 meters, take a photo there?
Ah, very smart.
So so that we're making ground.
Distance,
yes. It's so funny, right? And so people are like, yeah, sure, we'll walk and take the photo. So anyway, we get him outside, like down the stairs outside, and you know, and then it's kind of it goes, you know, into the car park and shit. So we're like, here, Lockie, let's beeline over here. We couldn't find our Uber, so there was so many fucking Ubers lined up.
Yeah,
it was a bit of mayhem,
chaos.
But basically, yeah, it took us ages to get back to the hotel.
Yeah,
we got back. We ended up, the three of us, at the food court in between the Mandalay Bay and the what's the Egyptian?
Pyramid? The pyramid?
Yeah, in the pyramid.
Yeah.
And we're at some dodgy burger shop, and Lockie's like getting takeaway, and he's like, "I'm gonna go back to my room. Nice to see you guys."
Yeah,
you know?
of course. Go.
Yeah. It was like 11 p.m. at that stage.
Yes.
And the after party's on.
Yes.
And it's like, fuck, man, it was a late finish.
Yeah, dude, very late. I'm gonna sidestep to a different story. I'm gonna talk about at the end of day one, we did a bit of a summary. We did a summary video which we haven't released yet. You guys you'll probably see it on our YouTube by the time you catch this. But basically, so much stuff happened on the first day, and this is where I want to give a shout out to Kenta from B Team.
Yeah.
Kenta did a number on JT Torres, took him down, held him down. Took him down again.
Wrestled the fuck out of him.
Wrestled. And I have never seen JT Torres it wasn't disrespectful. It was just, he was coming for it.
Yeah.
And I think he underestimated Kenta because a lot of people just don't know what a savage. He's a very polite, nice.
He's a quiet, Japanese guy. I think he's pretty unknown in the scene because he does a lot of MMA in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Kenta Iwamoto, I believe.
Yes, that's right. And he's lovely. I got a chance to chat with him because a couple of the B Team boys, Kai is training at B Team, also trained at Absolute, and then also Declan, Moody. A lot of the boys,
classic dude.
Yeah, amazing guy, great mullet lord, shout out.
Yeah, good look.
Awesome. Basically, we had said, come in the booth, hang out with us. It's all great, And so subsequently, very hungry B Team athletes. Because there was no, here's the thing.
Y'all got food?
Here's a slice of pizza. We're friends. Kenta had put on this amazing performance. JT had pulled out the win at the end. He might have got a back take or he outpointed Kenta. It was very fortunate, right? It was a tight match. I honestly believe that did tax him.
Yeah,
Because-
JT for his next round.
Yeah, JT fought PJ Barch the next round, and PJ Barch looked good, dude.
Oh, bro.
It was
Dominant.
incredible, and he got a really clean, body lock or a takedown to side control. It's 4 points, and that was pretty much the match right there. And it was an upset because also PJ had been an alternate. He had just missed out in the trials.
Okay.
I think 2 times, and is an amazing grappler. He had wars. He had a black eye, all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, his face was dusted up.
Bro, so and he must have been so exhausted.
So we're reliving this at the front of the arena.
We're talking, these matches, man. PJ Barch,
Oh, what a guy.
he walks behind us, and I'm like, oh, PJ Barch.
Holy shit, here he is right now. PJ, what's up?
And then he was like,
No, he was on the phone.
he was on the phone.
He was like,
No,
fucking barred our face.
I'm not dealing with this shit. He just walked up, and we were like, yeah.
We'll catch you later, PJ.
Yeah, you're good. It was
That was hilarious.
It was such a funny moment. I felt like a bit of a dick after, so I'm like, man.
Me too.
Should respect his privacy, but he was right there.
He was there, and we were talking about him. It
knows?
was a moment in time.
And we wanted to give him kudos.
That's right, yeah.
Great work. It would have been just a really sweet deal if he was like, oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, all right, see ya. It would have been, but he was just like, nah.
Fuck you guys.
What are you trying to do to me?
Yeah.
He's the same as everyone, just trying to get out of there. But, man, there was so many highlight performances. And was there any in particular? I mean, look, we had Australians doing their best. We had
our 2 guys.
JPS and Nikki Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
Nikki
Jeremy
Lloyd
Paul Skinner.
Griffiths. And, Nikki came in pretty fearless against bloody Gabby Garcia.
Tough draw.
That's tough.
Man. I mean, what was Nikki? She was at the very bottom of that weight category, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Was over 77?
Yeah, I believe so.
So Gabby's 100 plus.
Gabby would be 120 kilos.
Yeah, right.
Easily.
And Nikki's 78.
Yeah.
or low 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she doesn't have she's just...
I felt that Nikki, the great thing about Nikki is she has a real go-get-it attitude. She's like, I don't even care who you are. I'll just try and find a way to beat you. She's just really, whatever is on underneath the surface, exterior, she's smiling I'll heel hook you. I'll take you back. I'll choke you. And I actually did truly believe that was possible. But unfortunately, it kind of unfolded in the terrible way it can, which is Gabby Garcia just getting on top of you and smothering the life out of you.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, tough for her. She was obviously disappointed.
Of course.
With that, everybody, no one would hold it against her. I was like, fuck, that's a tough fight to win.
Yeah, but the thing that I, at least as a spectator, a friend, a fan, an ex-teammate, seeing your mate get out there and just bang with the best in the world, the greatest of all time, you're like, God, that's great. It's inspiring. It's like, yeah, good for you. Like, you're doing this thing right now. It's incredible to witness that. And then, I mean, yeah, I still hold the view of Gabby like facing off and her just looking up and just smiling in her face, like, whatever, bitch, bring it on. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then another Australian, Adele, she had to fight Fionn.
Yes, she did too.
First round. That's tough. And Adele is amazing. Fionn Davies came in on fire.
She looks so good.
Bro, I think that's the thing that people just don't appreciate. You just might be fighting the greatest of all time straight up, and they're on one, and you have to show up for that.
Yeah.
So that was a tough match too.
I hardly recall that match. Here's the thing to mention, like the way that the matches play out. On day one, you've got three mat areas, and on day one, all 3 mat areas have a match going pretty much all day.
Simultaneously, yeah.
And so from where we're sitting, you can't actually really see it. Like it's very, you're quite a distance away from each of those mats. But in the box, you have like a little TV, like a screen in front of you, and that's showing whatever the broadcast is showing,
yeah,
right?
whatever Flow Grappling's showing.
Yeah. So you can see one match more in depth there, but there's these other 2 matches happening on the side, and you got to think that you're watching the one on the screen, you're looking down there, but then something happens on the far side of the arena, crowd erupts. You're like, oh, fuck, what's going on over there? So you're trying to like split your attention between the 3.
Yeah.
Kind of what I was saying before, you don't actually get to appreciate each of the matches for what it is until you get to the second day where it's finals and they do like one match at a time.
Yeah.
So you can just zero in on this.
Yeah.
But so there were so many matches as a result that I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't even remember what happened there. I maybe saw a bit of it, but I don't remember Adele's match.
No, look, it was tough to watch because like I know Adele from Melbourne. She's now based in Perth, trains with our mate, Jocko Driscoll.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. I mean, I think technically she's still under her previous coach, but that's where she's based.
Yeah.
And she'd worked really hard and came in really well. But Fionn Davies, amazing performance from her, dominant.
Yeah.
Like she took Bia out with that big hip toss.
That was sick.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. And so it was great to see her
Crowd
win.
loves a hip toss.
Oh, God.
Any kind of big takedown.
Big takedown. Boom.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's like, not, as we all know, like it's not really a big deal when you get taken down like that in jits.
No.
You hit the ground, you just keep playing,
keep
whatever.
fighting.
But like for everyone watching, it's like, oh, shit.
It's like a dunk.
Yeah, that's right.
Dunked on. Boom. Oh, dang. Man, JPS, Jeremy Paul Skinner.
Bro, went to war with AJ
Agazarm and played it well. Like, played it really well.
Do you know because a lot of people have been talking about since I've been back, his armbar that he used, that he almost caught him with? That's like, almost like the legs don't go over the head. It's like,
yes.
Again, one of those things I'm like, I saw it happening.
Has he done a breakdown of it?
Don't know.
We should get him to do a breakdown of it to fully explain. Look, guys, there was some controversy, as always, when you have AJ Agazarm in the spotlight. He wants to make the most of it. But the truth was, I was at the rules meeting, I heard what they said. If you are in a position which stops, like if someone goes for a takedown, but they don't take you down successfully, like within a certain amount of time, like 5 seconds, and like the play is stopped. Jeremy had kind of gone to like a reverse triangle, like around the upper body, was controlling the hips, was kind of trying to like set up an attack, go to his back, and the play had stopped. And then at a critical point, AJ kind of got out, and then Jeremy went to guard. And then AJ was like, oh, it's 2 points.
Oh, right, it's takedown.
Yeah, and then so Jeremy won, and AJ protested.
Yeah.
And he was getting booed and get off. And it was just like, bro, it's not about you. Like, there was some pretty tight
He's
matches.
like, bitch, it's all about me.
It's all about
I mean, he did the best of making the most of his appearance, right?
Oh, he did. He got
I'm
leverage.
getting in this media.
Oh, yeah. And then he was fighting to get back on. Once they took him off, he was like arguing. But interestingly enough, and I'll just share this with you guys, Jeremy said he was a total gentleman about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he came up to me. He's like, really sorry, man. I reacted like that. Like,
it wasn't about you.
It's not about you. I just felt the ref did me wrong. And, and a lot of people hate on AJ Agazarm, right? I don't know him. But Jeremy's like, no, he was cool. He was cool to me before, and he was even nicer afterwards. He was super respectful and all that. He wished him luck, the whole piece.
But that's the thing is it's the Gordon thing, it's the McGregor thing. It's like, I'm going to play a villainous role in the public eye.
Get the attention.
But, I'm actually a good person. Like, I'm a fine person.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Yeah, whatever. That's up for someone else to decide. But there's like two personas there, the real one and then the public one.
The act. Yeah.
AJ's always been that guy in grappling, which, I gotta give some props. In a way, I don't like his character in the same way I don't like the way Gordon is, with a lot of his stuff. But I feel like they do elevate the sport because they bring attention.
But that's why Moasim loves Gordon. He is Conor McGregor to Moasim's Dana White.
That's right.
Like he's brought all this attention. He's brought all these fans. He's this kind of champion guy, like champion competitor. But man, there's so many great performances on that day. I mean, Aussies did well, but really the only one who was able to break through was Craig Jones.
Oh, what about Lockie performance?
I mean, Lockie...
Be remiss not to mention...
No. Lockie did well. And
he fought the 2 division winners.
He fought the best guy in each category. So, yeah, man, he's fighting Cade. And...
Cade, bro, that guy can just turn a negative into a positive. Like it's all counterattack, isn't it?
Yeah, and scramble and king of scramble.
Yeah, like he was looking good, and then it was just like, oh fuck, Cade just armbarred him. Like where'd that come from?
And he had him in a heel hook too. Lockie caught the heel hook, but they have the Ruotolo brothers. Shout out Ruotolos, have exceptionally long arms, and he was like arm fighting him, and he couldn't get he had it locked in, but he couldn't get the torque on it.
Yeah, right.
And the funny thing is, Lockie is actually pretty happy because it was like a huge advertisement for his guard retention.
Yeah.
Like he was able to just kind of, with no control, kind of invert and not get past for nearly the entire match.
Yeah.
Like it was a good probably 9 minutes, and it was just, Cade just did a little kick, grabbed the arm and
theoretically didn't pass.
No.
Caught the armbar, but never passed.
Never passed.
Yeah.
And then same with Yuri Samoy. So Lockie fought, and Lockie was actually gunning for Nicholas Merengali.
Was he?
Lockie really wanted to beat a Danaher guy because
right.
he knows Danaher doesn't like him.
Danaher not like Lockie?
No, not at all.
Or he doesn't like him because he presents like a problem for them?
No, I think it's because, it's an ideological thing.
Okay.
And, Lockie is a really nice guy, but he's also a little bit mischievous in a kind of Aussie kind of way.
Yep.
And so he's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny? Like, it would be a bit funny if I, like, heel hook Nicholas Merengali, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be funny? Not even like, like an ego thing, just as a joke.
Yeah.
But he had to fight Yuri Samois, and Yuri, Jesus, he came to win. I actually bumped into him in the Mandalay when I was walking around with Ola and her parents before the event.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, oh, what's up, Yuri? He's like, oh, hey, man. I was like, yeah, I'm from Australia. He's like, oh, yeah, I used to live in Australia. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, I'm with Lockie. I'm from Absolute. And he's like, yeah, I used to train with Lockie. It's like, I used to train with Kit. And yeah, he was like,
he trained with those guys.
Yeah, he was exceptionally friendly. He was actually looking to set up like a check match, Australia.
Okay.
What have you. He was cool. He was real cool. And I was like, man, they did you bad last time because he had a bad reset against Kynan.
Okay.
Kanan, however you pronounce it. And they basically gave Kynan the back and he choked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Yuri's a former champion.
Yeah.
So he ended up winning the Absolute. And, Lockie lost to Cade, who won the category. And then he lost to Yuri, who won the Absolute. So it's funny speaking with him afterwards. He was like, you know what? I still feel like I displayed my game. He's like, that's the next instructional.
Speaking of which, too, we got some interviews with some different folk. Lockie's one of them. It's on our YouTube channel. It'll be there by the time you hear this.
Yes.
And then Craig, obviously, I cut you off on that before.
Yeah.
Did fucking great.
Man, he got quick subs. He got the Choi bar real quick. Like,
Yep.
guy reached in, just tap.
Yep.
He
Got that guillotine.
Got the guillotine.
Yep.
Like,
On
Craig.
Carl Bohm.
Yeah. He looked very good. And the thing is, like, I think he could win today. He looked great. Like, he was doing a lot better than others. But Kynan Duarte looked like the biggest unit of all time. Like, he looked bigger than he has ever looked.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's tough.
And he's fucking, like, he doesn't have the most exciting jiu-jitsu, but he's got
very good.
strong jiu-jitsu. Like, it's solid as fuck.
Yeah.
And he was just able to, like, I think he copped a lot of criticism because he didn't look super active with the Craig match.
Yeah.
But he was also, like, sitting on Craig's guard and not allowing Craig to initiate his guard.
do anything.
And motherfucker, like, if you let Craig start playing his guard, you're going to lose. Yeah. So in a way, I was like, they kept giving him the penalty points, which seemed excessive at the rate they were giving him.
They were just penalising faster than anyone has ever been penalised. Ever.
But I'm also like, what are you gonna do again? That's what you have to do.
You have to,
unless you got a better, like, unless your passing is better developed than his guard play, which that's a fucking
unlikely.
tall order.
Yeah. But he played it smart. I think in the moment I was hating on him because I was like, man, I wanted to see more of an exchange.
Yeah, you want to see the action.
Yeah, because you're like, how is, Conan's defense against Craig's attack? And like, because he'd fought Craig before and taken his back and choked him, like off a leg lock defense.
Right.
So you're like, oh, that'd be cool. But also could Craig become an ADCC champion? Like, as much as I will talk smack about Craig, I respect him. And it would have been pretty awesome to see him win. But no, he just got his game shut down, and
he's a big crowd favorite. Oh, Craig!
They
fucking love him out there.
They love him. Actually, he's an adopted American now. I try to talk about which Australians are in the comp, and I'm like, yeah, Craig Jones is like, and this guy is like an ADCC organizer. Like, no, he's American. I was like, what the fuck? No, he's not.
He lives in Texas. He's got guns. He's American.
Yeah, we've adopted him in the same way Australians adopt like Kostya. Can't speak English. Boxing world champion. You're Australian. You live here now. But, man, Isaac Michel, hell of a match.
With Wagner?
Bro, he was doing so well. But Wagner Rocha, how old is he, 45?
Bro, I don't know. Fuck him.
Mate,
what vegetables? Does he avoid nightshades? Is it, do you stew the tomatoes? Like
vegan lifestyle?
Do you salt them before or after the sauce? I'm like, what the?
It's olive oil and acai. Mate,
I do a raw garlic clove every 2 days. It's the secret.
Bro, he has cauliflower face.
But, just a note on that, like we're alluding to like juicing, right?
Yes.
But I actually got to squash any kind of criticism there because as I understand it, if you're competing at that level in that competition where there's no rules against juicing, it's like do whatever the fuck you want.
Go hard.
Everyone's doing it. Like pretty much everyone's doing it. So I can't hold it against, like an older guy that's competing at that level. It doesn't take anything away from what he's doing.
Man, he was winning. And man, he looked even good against the Hulk. Until he kicked him in the face.
That's right.
And it was brutal. It was absolutely just, because you're like, is the Hulk playing it up? Slow motion replay. Because he was going to take down and pass, just straight up kick heel to the cheekbone. And then they didn't penalize
it. And then
these
ones.
Hey, what? It's
the soccer hands.
Jiu-jitsu. Hey, what's going on here? And man, boo. But it was even. It was dead set even. Match goes to Hulk. I think, the kick to the face cost, it was a pretty even match. Maybe Hulk came stronger at the end.
Hulk looked good. Did he compete against Bodoni next?
Yeah, he lost to Bodoni in the final.
Hulk was looking good.
Hulk looked great.
Yep.
And it was real tough for Hinger because Hinger had to fight him.
Okay.
They're teammates.
So he had to fight him and he had to fight Cade.
He had to fight Ty.
Yeah,
he beat Ty.
Savage.
It's tough.
But yeah, Isaac Michel, just on that, he looked really fucking good.
Mate.
I think he got kind of outpointed in a way by a more experienced ADCC competitor. You would expect that next time round
it would be different.
And Isaac, he's a young guy and he's early kind of on the journey. So much potential.
Huge. And then, man, you're looking at so debut for Nicholas Marangali, crazy. And then looking at, debut for Giancarlo Bordoni, and he won.
Bruh.
Mate, he looked so good against everybody.
He did. Yeah, he was a killer.
Yeah, it was. I think the thing about this, guys, as much as you might all know this information, because we're kind of recalling it as we work our ways through the days and bounce it back and forth, it's so overwhelming how much good jiu-jitsu went down. It's just...
Yeah.
I got fried.
It's too much. It's too much to be able to take in.
Yeah.
Like we did when we did that video where we caught that epic interview with PJ. You're like, bro, tell me about day one. And I'm like, oh man, I can't even remember anything that just happened. Give me a sec. I was like, yeah, it was really, And so that it's almost like it's like when you go to a buffet. There's just too much good food. You can't enjoy it all, guys. Learn this. You're better off just to choose one protein, one carbohydrate. You know what I mean? So ADCC is that thing where it's like,
what are you talking about, Joe? Up your eating game. You can enjoy everything if you eat hard enough.
So it's like yeah, fuck, have this jiu-jitsu overload.
It was amazing. And then was it the girl from Zenith? She won the absolute.
The American girl.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
I apologize. Forgive me. It was an amazing match. And her post-win speech was great. She's talking about character and overcoming adversities and how she wanted to find something that would show her character. And she stayed with one team for 14 years and the whole thing. It was incredibly heartfelt. It was like incredibly articulate. I was like, whoa. She did so well. Like, I was like, I actually had no awareness of her, and it was like, wow, huge performance from her. I don't think she was a favorite at all. So amazing for her to come through and win that.
That match, that final. No, was it? Was that happening at the same time that Fionn was fighting? I feel like it was.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah, I remember just being like, oh shit.
What am I going to pay attention to?
Too much going on here, yeah.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, like, yeah, the system overload. But let's cut to funnier stories, because I think there's some funny stuff in there. I'm just going to share behind the scenes. So we got to go to the after party.
Yeah.
We had our own little booth.
Yep.
Let me tell you, a couple of grand doesn't go far on a bottle service in Las Vegas. You're lucky if you get 2 bottles. But a random thing happened. I got there early, and I saw Mo, chatted to Mo. He gave us our assigned spot, and no one was there yet. It was just randoms. And he just said, oh, man, like, this is the ADCC section. He's like, you can come up in here. And the security were, like, real tight. It's at this club. It's a club at the top of the Cosmopolitan. It's called, like, Heaven or Haven, or I can't quite remember. But early on, I got to just kind of make friends with the bouncers. Like, hey, and he's like, yeah, this guy's cool. And so they were like, yeah, you're sweet. Heaps of ADCC royalty came in and didn't know what the hell was going on. So I was just like, oh, hey, Victor Estimo, how you going? Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, I kind of know this guy. I was like, yeah, this is the way up here. And he's like, oh, thanks, man. Oh, Braulio Estimo, how you doing?
That fucking entrance was ridiculous.
Oh, mate.
Like, go up or go down. Like,
elevator, up the stairs, fucking up Spook Hill.
So you're like facilitating, like, let me lead you to the event.
Trying to help, because I had no idea where to go. And then ultimately, it's like, Hodger Gracie. Hey, Hodger. This is the way, man. So, oh, thanks, bro. Yeah, like, I just like suddenly I become like an ADCC official. It was hilarious. But it meant at the end of the night, like, all of them were like, yo, good work, bro. Thanks. Like, they were like, they're pretty boozed, but they're getting a lot of love from these super famous guys. I met Lex Friedman.
Oh, you did?
And he was hammered.
Yep.
And he was so chatty, man. He was actually like really personable, and Mikhail Yaya and his partner Mon were there.
Yep.
And Mon is a massive fan of Lex Friedman. She was just fangirling out.
Yeah.
But he was so funny because he'd just be like kind of joking around, and next to me he's like, yeah, I'm really in a good place right now. Like going over there to Ukraine, like I feel like, if you held a gun to my head and shot me like dead, I'm good with that. I'm like, is that a good place to be in, mate? Like, really? It's like, yeah, like it's war. You got to accept these things. I'm like, what? I don't know if that's right. And then when people would take photos with him, they'd be like, smile. And he'd be like, and they're like, no, Lex, smile. He's like, I'm smiling. And that's his thing, and he's actually quite good friends with the B team guys.
Okay.
They were all just kind of bantering.
So kicking around there.
Yeah.
And he was wearing his black suit and the black tie, his uniform.
White shirt. Yeah. Yep. It's a shtick. But he was actually really cool, very interesting guy to chat to. I would love to hear him on Rogan drunk. Like, Lex Friedman drunk is funny as shit.
I fear that the slurring, because he has a bit of a slur when he's not drunk, and he has kind of like this slow tempo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've actually come around to his podcast quite a bit since that trip. Not because of it, but I've just jumped on a couple of episodes and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Now, do you have a favorite, like, just random
There was a couple random moment from that same party, and just kind of indicative of the stupid shit that happens at these events.
Yep.
Was I'm hanging around with, I'm not even hanging around with, I've just gone to the bathroom, I've come back, I've run into Mikhail and Mon, and I'm standing there with them, and it's a big B team kind of gathering.
Yep.
And Nikki Ryan's next to me, and then there's these two kind of older women.
Yep.
And they're like, they got this bottle of vodka in these plastic cups, and they're speaking real loud. I think there was a Jersey accent.
Okay.
And then someone's like, "Oh, bro, yeah, that's Nikki's mum." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "That's Gordon's mum." And I'm like, "Oh, holy shit. Okay, cool." And then she's pouring. I don't know who the woman that she's with, but she's pouring. One of them's got the cups, the other one's got the bottle,
yep.
and she's pouring the cup, and then she's just handing the cup, just throwing cups at people.
Right.
And she's like, "Have some vodka. Drink this vodka, you fucking pussy." And I'm like, "Thank you very much, lady." Drinking this like fucking horrible vodka. Yeah, but I'm like, that's a cool moment in time.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's so good.
Bro, we need to give a shout out to our boy Bobby Sandu.
Yeah, we do.
We had an episode that launched while we were away, and we're talking about our boy Bobby, who is an advocate of the program and a friend of ours.
He is.
And some of the shit that we came off offended him.
True.
And it rubbed him the wrong way. And we just wanted to shout to fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
And I respect what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to come on. I don't want anyone to think that, whatever, we say shit, we joke.
We do.
But I don't want anyone to think that we're ragging on people doing good work.
And he's dedicated. I think the dedication, him traveling to B Team, doing his thing, there's no question about Bobby's commitment to being great at jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
And he's a very knowledgeable guy.
And I told him, I said, "Bro, I'll come to your seminar."
I won't.
I'm coming.
I told him. I said, "Bobby."
Well, you probably know whatever's being told, but I'm like, it'll be new information.
I don't. I'm not saying I know what Bobby knows, and I think this is a misunderstanding. All to the side, I've spoken with Bobby. I love him. He's a great guy. And if you wanted to learn what's going on at the B Team, he's a really good way to access it. He's way more accessible than Craig. You know what I mean? Like, so if that's the only way you can get that info, man, that's great, right? And I think what Bobby's doing is a good thing. So if in any way it was misconstrued, banter is savage, people, just saying.
Absolutely. Comedy's not an easy gig, my friends.
All right.
We'll wrap it up there.
We will, man. There's a lot that kind of went undescribed.
I think we do another one of those where we can tell some more stories because, that's really just scratching the surface.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Fam, thank you for listening. Hey, if you want some help with your training, we got the program for you, strength and mobility programs for jiu-jitsu players like you. You can go to bulletproofforbjj.com, sign up for a free trial, and if you use the code BJJPodcast, you'll get 20% off your subscription. Just a note on our program, we've been building an app for the last 4 months.
Yes.
Basically. It's nearing completion. It's surprisingly a bigger job than we'd probably,
of course.
It's like, fuck, this thing's actually a monster. But the app's going to be fucking sick. It will supersede our online program. It will be the new home. It will be super slick and fast loading and all that stuff. So just want to let you know that's coming, and we'll keep you updated on its progress.
Oos.
My guy.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.